Without thinking, I said it out loud. The words I spoke were not meant to be spoken in public, and suddenly everything went black. A threat? Surely not. A punishment? Surely not. This was my chance to find out who was behind everything, but the material of the blindfold was closing in around me, and the air seemed to be a little thinner. The gates opened and I unwillingly stumbled through with the help of a push. In a way, it makes me feel better for sharing this, because others can be aware of the treacheries that I faced.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know, I find writing actual like stories or poems and songwriting are actually really closely linked. Sometimes I'll write things down and I know it's not going to be a song or it's not going to become anything, but it just sounds nice on the paper. As silly as that sounds, just some words that read nicely.
So I think this is the most recent piece I've written, and it is just, I was thinking a lot about sounds when I wrote it, which I don't always think about. There's something about the demise of the rises and falls before the peaks in the heats of the eyes of the storms. There's something so crazy, endearing and steering from ice cold into the whites of the warm. Feel each other's failures and forms. Summon powers from nearing that fearing and clearing it, keeping your cool. Celebrate climbing up the walls after losing it all.
How do you train your voice to sing better? Haha, that's a good question. Well, every day you're supposed to warm up your voice. I don't do it every day, but I should do, because you'll find, for instance, I'm just going to sing anything, just completely just sing without breathing properly. I'll just go, hey, hey, and I've literally just gone from here, hey, hey, no control. But if you work every day by breathing, hey, it's so much stronger. Hey, you'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to feel it in your diaphragm. So you can your everyday breathing. It's just a breath, but you feel it here. You more or less breathing. You could feel it here. That's not how you're supposed to sing. You're supposed to try and sing from your diaphragm so it completely opens, so you can get those big notes. Monday through to Friday, it almost drained my batteries. Been waiting for the weekend, 'cause music is my remedy. Caught up in the feeling, it's pulling all my energy. Wow, desire to be near you. Give me what I want. I need a lover tonight.
I close my eyes, I see all the colours throw through my mind. Reds, orange, greens, them all. I see family, friends, and all the people I love. I smile as I remember all the sweet memories flood in my mind. Me and my family laughing at my dad's jokes, and me and my brothers at each other for fun. I wonder what it's like with no siblings at all. I bet it's boring, the only sibling. No one to annoy, laugh with, or grow up with, no one to play with, or share love with, no one at all. I'm scared of what will happen if I ever lose them. We may fight and argue, but if I lost either of my brothers, I would do anything just to get them back. My brothers think that I am one of the best people alive. They know I would help them with anything, beat anyone up if they messed with them. I can't tell anyone on how much I love them or how much I care. If I did, I reckon I would just bore them because I would never stop.
I don't know if anyone's ever done some breath work before, the power of breath. So do you know we have the left and the right brain, yeah? And they both have different ways that they allow us to run. And the left brain being the logical brain, responsible for the linear thinking, mathematical, and our right brain being our creative brain, our more intuitive, flowful, where we create from. And there's a practice which has been so beneficial for me. I'm more right brain than I am left, by the way. I have a sister who is very logical, and if I didn't have her, then I don't know where I would get too much logic from, because I am more flow and more creative. And sometimes we have one more than we have the other, but through these practices, we can bring them into balance. And if there's certain things that we require to kind of do and get on with some days, like be more logical, you can use this practice. Or you want to be more creative, you can come into this and it will bring you into that space where you can then enter that. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to take our these two fingers here, we're going to place them in between our eyebrows. Then you're going to bring your thumb on your, so we're using our left hand, and you're going to bring your thumb on your left nostril, and then you're going to have your little finger and your index on your right.
When I close my eyes, I dance. I smile as I remember the dusty steps danced on many wooden floors back in infancy. I wonder what it's like to be in a world without music and dancing and dreams. I'm scared of returning to the thing I love and being judged once again. My mum thinks that I turn my back on the blisters, tears, and the endless bottles of hairspray. I can't tell anyone, for the fear that someone will judge me like many have before. My mind is on fire with rivers of what if. When will I dance to myself, if only in my dreams?
Wow, that one.
When the West went to rehab, the tests all got revamped. The celebs had a relapse and the rest they can see that, so please clap. Clap for Mother Nature as she enters her recovery. Stand up for the wonder that comes after the worrying. Humans are going into isolation, hibernation, defined by enough lies that could hide a nation. Train my track so much I could buy the station, standing stationary with my stationery. They'll say I'm ready on the day they get me. It's like supermarkets looking their super. It's like Thanos snapped all the Ubers. Can't go to the pub, so you turn my house to a wine house and ask Amy about the future. Look.
I've got one question here from Paige. What's been the biggest struggle you've faced?
That's a really good question. It's when you're playing music with other people, there's a lot of chemistry involved and there's a lot of egos involved. And some of the biggest challenges have just been getting on with everyone and not, everyone getting along, not making it all about themselves. And a lot of, I think the people are the most challenging thing. Also, the most brilliant thing is the people.
If there is no drummer on the gig, then you are the bass player and the drummer. But if you have a drummer, you two are the foundation. I remember telling the drummer with the new kids in rehearsal one time, what was it? It was a stadium. It held what? How many? 200,000? I said, every foot in that place is relying on you to be on time and be in beat. And when he thought about it like that, it messed him up. I said, every foot in that place, from the vendors to the people up front, to me, we're relying on you to be, your beat to be be in time, for you to be in time and be correct. So before you want to do a whole bunch of theatrics, you make sure you got the beat right, And so that messed them up, but it got them straight. Eventually, of course, you become comfortable with the show and you learn different things. You know where you can take liberties. But I said that's the most important thing. You want everybody to be able to clap and shake their head and groove with the music without thinking about it. That's what it's all about.
Probably DJing abroad. I did 2 seasons in Ayia Napa as well, and then right now in Dubai, I've been DJing out here. So I'd say the traveling, getting to meet new people and traveling is definitely a highlight. I was quite fortunate actually because I'd built a network back home in the UK. When I came out here, the people that were putting on the events already had heard of me back home. So my first event I DJ'd for out here was for Charlie Sloth because of the network of people that I kind of met in the UK. So I was quite fortunate.
That's another part of it. Of course, you'll need to have a band, and if it's a new artist, you need to put a new band together. So therefore, you're looking for new musicians. Usually, the staple: drums, bass, guitar, and keys to start off with. Then, if the bigger the artist, you can start adding things like people like backing vocalists, maybe brass section, additional percussionists. You know, you can start building if the show and the artist gets bigger. So of course you have to, as the musical director, you're responsible for appointing people, you know, to make up the band. So then other aspects get involved with, you've got to get the right mix of people, because potentially if you're going out on tour for 6 months, you're going to be spending more time with these people than you are your own family.